Tools and Twisties, precision tools, performance cars. Let's get to it. Sometimes you find that you just can't get your tool to fit on the nut or bolt that you're working on. I'm just kidding with this, obviously. This thing is huge. But even a normal size 3/8 inch ratchet, flex head should have good accessibility. Can't always get it where you need it to be. As an example, I've mocked up this piece of conduit, and you can see there's a bolt hidden inside there, and just can't get the tool in there. So what most people would do if they didn't have any kind of special low clearance tools is maybe just use a wrench, and you could just turn it a little bit and you'd probably get the job done. Or you could do a bunch of disassembly. Maybe you can access this a little bit better if you took the bumper off the car, if you took the exhaust off the car. Sometimes you don't want to do that. You want to get to the bolt with a minimum amount of disassembly and get it off as quickly as possible. So instead of maybe a wrench like this, an open-end combination wrench, or maybe you have to use the open end to do it. There's a bunch of low clearance tools out there. Simplest might be a ratcheting wrench. These are the Astro Razor. They're extra thin ratcheting wrenches, which give you even better clearance in certain situations. And you can see kind of no problem fitting that in there. Sometimes you don't always have access, and there's an obstruction like here that will prevent you from getting a flat zero offset wrench on there. And that's where tools like this come in. This is the Astro Nano. This is a flex head, low profile, impact rated socket, but it also works on mechanical devices. And with a tool like this, you can get around an obstruction, still get on the bolt, and have enough clearance to get in there and loosen the bolt quickly and effectively, plenty of torque on the handle. Really nice tools. I really like the Astro Nano series, and I think that they're an excellent investment. They're not terribly expensive. They come with their own handles. It will work on any ratcheting wrench for the appropriate size, but the Astro ones come with a little retaining ring which hold them in there. Some of the competitors, they don't always have that retaining ring, which quite honestly, without the retaining ring, they're kind of useless. Some people put something on the back to stop the socket from falling out, but not terribly effective. The other tool that people really like for an application like these are these mountain double box offset wrenches. They're a reversible ratcheting wrench, and they have a little bit of a lip on the end. So it gets around that problem of if you have an obstruction, you can't get to it with a regular wrench. And with these, again, no problem getting in there, plenty of leverage. These are very effective wrenches. They come from a couple different manufacturers. You can see these are labeled Platinum Tech. They're labeled by Mountain, they're labeled by Platinum Tech. The Icon ones are nearly identical. There's at least 3 or 4 different versions of this that all come out of the same factory, and they do vary in price a little bit. It is nice that these are reversible, which is one thing that the Astro does not have. In order to reverse this, you have to pop it out and flip it over, which can get you in trouble sometimes, but usually not too big of a deal. The other thing about the Astro is they also make a 1/4 inch version. Let's say this is the 3/8 inch. They also make a 1/4 inch version, same size actual socket interface, but the handles and the drive size is smaller. And this will get you in even tighter places. Again, if you have an obstruction here, no problem. Go around it, and that works quite well. The other tool that you might find yourself reaching for is some sort of low profile. This is a Koken Zeal series socket. Very low profile, and it's on a Tone little micro ratchet, and I've stuck on that micro ratchet breaker bar. And this might get you into certain situations that you can't get into with any of the above mentioned tools. On this particular application, you can see that low profile socket is not deep enough to grab that, so this will not work in that application. But let's say you were trying to get to this outside bolt here, and it was blocked, and you couldn't get to it from the other side. You could use a tool like this and go around the obstruction and loosen the bolt quite effectively, or tighten the bolt quite effectively. So maybe you need this tool for one side or to avoid a certain disassembly, and maybe you need this tool for the other side. So that's sort of our specialty ratchet low clearance applications. I want to make a quick mention of the Quinn version. Quinn makes a version of this, and it's fundamentally flawed in my opinion. This is the standard SAE version, but the metric version has the same fundamental flaw, and the flaw is this. I mentioned that the Astros come in a 1/4 inch series and a 3/8 inch series. It also comes in a 1/2 inch series. The 1/2 inch series uses this great big wrench and a super big 22 millimeter interface on it. It's fine when you're working on suspension bolts, but for something like this, let's pretend this is the right size. This is SAE, so it isn't. There's just no way that you're getting a tool like this effectively in that hole. So it kind of defeats the purpose to have a low profile socket and then have a huge 22 millimeter interface. Not to mention the fact that many people aren't going to have a 22 millimeter ratcheting wrench, and you're going to end up having to buy the Astro wrench anyway. So just buy the Astro series instead. Always use something like this if you have access. I mean, this is a great tool, easy to use, great torque. It's never going to break on you. And if you can fit this in the application, this is the right tool to use. But if you need to get in somewhere where you can't with a tool like that, some of these other tools really might save you a lot of time and effort, and are great to have in your toolbox. So that's Tools and Twisties, tools for the day, and glad you could join us.